There's a lot of confetti still in that thing. U.S. Bank Stadium in Minneapolis. We are here live. This is Good Morning Football. Super Bowl 52. The Eagles get the win. It was so exciting. The four of us were together for parts of it, away from parts of it, but we all sort of sent each other photos of what we were doing in different angles. That's pretty cool, guys. Peter Schrager, Nate Burleson, Kyle Brandt. I'm Kay Adams. Welcome to Good Morning Football, presented by Mazda.
It's an amazing weekend in the stadiums. My first time seeing USA Bank Stadium. And
it's right there, Nate. Look at that
stadium.
thing.
It was unbelievable. Unbelievable stadium.
Unbelievable, and the electricity in that building, I can't express it more. If you have any opportunity to go to a Super Bowl, you have to do it once in your life. It was an electric feeling for all football fans. And Nate said it earlier. NFL, people have tried to take shots.
Right.
That's why we love football.
Yeah.
That's why we love the NFL. An amazing game and a true exhibition for fans.
Best part of last night.
Best part of last night, I thought, was the courage of the Eagles coaching staff to just lay it all out on the line and say, let's empty the bag, let's go blow for blow. The Patriots were running trick plays. The Eagles said, we got you one better. I just love the courage, and I love the confidence in the underdog, and that's what they were last night.
Played 11 years, never got close to a Super Bowl. Even when I started to work in TV, I would always refrain from going because I didn't want to get in that atmosphere. Mm-hmm. Last night, I felt like I won. Just still being part of the family, still being part of the NFL. I felt like I was a winner, a Super Bowl champ. It was an amazing night.
The game was great. I got to meet M. Night Shyamalan before the game. How about that?
Is that
Scoreboard,
right?
Look up at it. Yes. And, Kate, it had a crazy ending, as it always does.
Are we going to see some of that?
I think we might.
Who else did you meet?
Who didn't I meet, Kay?
Did you meet
Carl
Did you
Anthony
meet P.
Towns.
Diddy?
You were hanging with.
I saw P. Diddy. Peter and I were. P. Diddy was behind the rope, not allowed on the field. Schrager and I were. We're like, what's up, Diddy? You want to come over here? Oh, you can't. Sorry.
Psych! All right, this is Good Morning Football. It all came down to this. Let's show you your Super Bowl 52 highlight. Eagles and Patriots. Time for the lead
Lock. Let's do it. What a Super Bowl it was. Right behind us in U.S. Bank Stadium. There's Tom Brady coming out. He's played in several of them. Belichick, of course, been there. And Malcolm Butler, benched for the game, did not play a snap. Belichick said afterwards it was strictly football. There was not a disciplinary thing. He didn't have him out there, and the Patriots got shredded. It doesn't make sense. And here's some of said shredding to Alshon Jeffrey, who I think was the first half MVP in this game. He was phenomenal. Look at the artistry. This is Lynn Swann right here. Slow-mo, ballet in the air for the touchdown. Nick Foles could not miss all night. Second quarter, though, Tom Brady's going to go to Brandon Cooks. Wait for it. Brandon Cooks gets it over the middle of the field. He's making moves. He's fast. And out of nowhere, bam! Malcolm Jenkins hits him, and Cooks is down and staying down. You see Mr. Kraft pointing to his head. It was upside his jaw, and Brandon Cooks would leave the game and not return. Massive, understated moment in this game. The wide receiver one for the Patriots was out. But they did the Patriots thing, and Amendola throws it to Brady, who's wide open, and drops it.
Hindsight here, but 3rd and 5, this was the play call? What do you
It was
think?
a perfect play call. Absolutely perfect. They ran the same play a few years ago, also against the Eagles, and it worked, and he was wide open. Brady needs to make that play. It's a strange thing to say about him as a wide receiver. You got to catch that ball, Tom. Here we go now. 15-12, Philly, 4th and goal. What do they run? Certainly you would never throw it to a quarterback again. Trey Burton would, and Foles makes the catch. That is called Philly special. Peter, what do you got?
Trey Burton played college football at Florida where he was a quarterback. He can throw the ball. They run this a lot in their practice. And Kyle, they've had the play in the bag, and they went to it.
They've had it for weeks. They almost used it against the Vikings, but didn't need it, used it perfectly. Guys, how'd this one go down?
That play we've been working on for the last couple of weeks and just needed the right time, right opportunity, and guys executed it brilliantly.
Doug and I were talking. I was like, let's just run it. It was a good time. And the end was a little wider than I thought, so I was like, I really need to sell like I'm not doing anything. And it worked. Trey made an amazing throw right on the money. I just looked it in.
4th and goal. You want to run the crazy trick play where our third tight end throws it to the quarterback? Yeah, screw it. Let's do it.
Let's just run it.
Look, you got to kill the Patriots. You can't mess around and kick field goals, and they did it. 22-12 now, but this was the end, the culmination of the Gronk drive. 60-plus yards receiving on it. He dominated them all the way down the field, and the Patriots seem to be catching their stride, but they're still down. Nick Foles, how about this dude? Corey Clement is an awesome football player. I don't care where he was drafted, how he was. He was one of the best players on the field last night in the biggest spots. Look at the throw from Foles. I will say, a lot of apprehension in the stadium again if this was a catch. I know Collinsworth was very outspoken about it on the broadcast. They reviewed it. It held up. And Belichick is trying to get that D going because I'll say it straight up. The Pats D had nothing. They could do nothing to stop the Eagles. So they had to do this. Chris Hogan, top shelf, sweet lax, top cheddar from Tom Brady. And they got it going now. This was just back and forth. It was like Bird versus Jordan. Whoever had the ball last felt like they were going to win. Eagles now up 6. Brady to Gronk to tie it.
It's crazy.
It's unstoppable. I don't care who you have out there. With that throw, Rob Gronkowski is going to score a touchdown.
What did Tony Gonzalez tell us? He's like Shaq out there.
He is. He was like Shaq, and Tommy was Anthony Hardaway right there. But Nick Foles down 1 now. The Patriots finally have the lead. A 3rd and 1 out to Torrey Smith. Great defense on the play. This is one of the few huge plays that the Patriots D made, but it's 4th down, and as we said, the Eagles are here to win this game.
Going for it.
They're going for it on 4th. So what do they do? Henson Garrett Blunt? He's in shotgun. What's going on here? They're going to sack him. No, Foles, a great throw to Zach Ertz. How about on a 4th and 1, they get 1.5 on a throw to the tight end. That kind of play, Peterson just feeling it. Still down 1 now, 1st and 10. Over the middle.
That throw was crazy.
It was right?
In between 2 defenders. Great anticipation.
Nelson Aguilar. Now we have a 3rd down. And it's Zach Ertz
Zach.
to go ahead. Look at that, though. Didn't you feel like they scored too early?
Check out the slant route.
Oh, it's a great
Puts
pattern.
McCourty on the ground.
Would it be too much time for Brady?
I would have thought so. I mean, I have a feeling this score, as much as it was the go-ahead touchdown, the winning touchdown, as an Eagles fan, like 2:20 left, and Brady's got timeouts. I don't know. We might have scored. We haven't played any defense in the second half, and here comes Brady. So is someone going to make a play?
Some Michigan on Michigan
Can somebody
crime.
make a play? Brandon Graham can make a play. Oh, it was an incredible strip sack, the first sack of the game, the only sack of the game, and the rook. Derek Barnett, look at Brady. He knew how big that was.
You know what he did when he got the ball and everyone did a Gronk spike right in the middle of the field?
He did. I remember last year when he threw the pick 6 against Atlanta, he said in the Tom versus Time, I knew that was the play that was going to lose us the game. It didn't lose him that game. This one did really lose him that game, and because why? Here's the last play of the day. 7 seconds, 6 seconds. Brady almost sacked. Here we go. Throw it up to Gronk. See if he can make a miracle. No. They get it on the ground. It felt like it was up there for an hour. But the Philadelphia Eagles are Super Bowl champs for the first time in history. Nick Foles, the quarterback MVP, as you see this ball bounce around. Doug Peterson gets an earful of the lemon lime, and the Eagles win as Brady runs through the confetti, losing his 3rd Super Bowl in 8 tries. Nick Foles, have yourself a night. 41-33, Eagles fly, Eagles fly.
And we do an hour of this show already this morning, and Kyle in the break looks at me and said, have we given Nick Foles his due yet? And I don't know that we have an entire hour, so let's get that going, because it all came down to this Super Bowl 52 Eagles-Patriots. Looking here at the difference between Foles.
And let's do that, but let's first, in the spirit of giving Foles that love, let's go to Foles and Peterson, hear what they have to say before we light those guys up.
I'll go back a year ago, and it started when we drafted Carson Wentz, and then we built the pieces around Carson. Then we go out and we get guys like Nick Foles, and we go out and get the Patrick Robinsons and the Alshon Jeffries and Torrey Smiths and all those guys, like Garrett Blunts, that surrounded Carson. And we understand Carson's a great quarterback. He's going to be a great quarterback for us. But being in this position as the backup quarterback, my confidence level, even when Carson went down, was, you know what, we're going to be fine.
This guy's a stud. I mean, he's around a long time.
Yes, he
is. He can still throw it. He can still do it. But I think the most important thing was just being around him. Doug didn't change. Doug drafted me. He came and worked me out at Westlake High School. He was one of the only people that believed in me. And he hasn't changed as a head coach. His role is just larger, but he's still the same person. So all I did was simply just watch him live. Watch how he is. He's a man of character. We all respond to that. And, to be in this moment, it's a real identity, and that's what created the identity of the football team. And I'm grateful to have played for this man. I'm grateful to have won a world championship with this man.
Nick Foles there. How well did he do as a fill-in for Carson Wentz? Carson Wentz MVP season. Taking a look at their stats, sort of neck and neck here. Look at Foles in the playoffs. I mean, Foles had 100-plus passer rating in every game that he played. He was the first backup quarterback to win a Super Bowl since Brady back in 2001. I mean, we can say a lot about Doug Peterson and Reich and, everybody that's calling the shots here, but Nick Foles took it into his own hands and made some plays. Let us now hear from Bill Belichick on the other side.
Proud of the way our players, coaches, everybody competed for 60 minutes. Just wasn't quite enough. We weren't able to perform at our best. Obviously, didn't do a good enough job coaching. Missed a lot of opportunities offensively in the first half. Didn't play good enough defense. Didn't play good enough in the kicking game. It just wasn't quite enough against a good team like Philadelphia.
All right, let's give Nick Foles some love.
What do you guys got? Come on, how about this guy?
Listen, it's been an amazing career. The highs and lows of every NFL athlete. You're going to have times where you're the most wanted guy, most talked about guy. Remember when he was throwing those 27 touchdowns, 2 interceptions?
Yep.
And we thought, man, this young quarterback in Philadelphia is doing something very special. And then he disappears for a while. And he thinks about retiring a couple years ago. Then he finds himself in Kansas City. And people forget that when Alex Smith went down 2 seasons ago with the concussion, he went in 2 games and won 2 games. And then the NFC title game, plays the best game of his life. And we said on this show last week, if Nick Foles is going to win this game, he's going to have to play
Even better.
yeah. Nearly perfect. And that's what he did. Now, was it a flawless game? No, but in the moments, the biggest moments of this game, he came up with the biggest throws. Of course, we love the trick play and the catch, but for me, it was stuff like that, inside the pocket, negotiating with his feet, and then having, I guess, the composure on 4th down plays to deliver the ball up against a defense that was ferociously trying to hit him in the mouth. Nick Foles, I called him the GOAT, and somebody on Twitter said, don't disrespect Brady like that.
What did you mean?
I said, don't disrespect Foles like that. So, listen, we can call Brady the GOAT because he's the greatest of all time. But one of the best quarterbacks of the postseason is Nick Foles this year.
And Kay, you brought it up. You kind of sprinkled it a little bit as a sneak peek. I think we're going to be talking about it for several weeks. It's this question of, okay, they've got this great run. What do you do with Nick Foles? What do you make of Nick Foles? Because we were just goofing around before the show, and Kyle said, well, who would you rather have for the Browns? First overall pick and Sam Darnold or Josh Rosen? Or the Super Bowl MVP who just looked Brady and Belichick in the eyes and slayed them? I don't know what to do with Nick Foles. He has another year left on the contract. But if I'm the Philadelphia Eagles, it's one of those things where let's keep as much of the band together as we can. And if they have this great relationship with Carson Wentz, in the way that Nick Foles is, he might gladly say, you know what? Yeah. It's Carson's team. I'm here when you need me. I have my Super Bowl MVP, and I am an Eagle. Whatever that means, quarterback 1, quarterback 2, I am an Eagle. Nick Foles, to me, has all the respect in the world from me right now because selfless, humbled, and then completely confident, and he beat Brady. Brady threw for 534. Nick Foles played better last night.
Zach Ertz said that he's one of the best 32 quarterbacks, Nick Foles, in the league. Do you want to see him? I know you like Carson Wentz a lot, too. Do you want to see him stay, though, in Philly?
It's fascinating because normally I would say, no. Wentz is the guy. Deal him. Deal him now. Deal him this morning while it's hot. Get a second-round pick. Get a first-round pick. Let's maximize this thing. But there is something to keeping him. We've never seen a full situation ever. I like to personalize these things, take it out of our circle here. My wife, Brooke, doesn't know anything about football. All week we're in the hotel. We walk to our elevator, and there's a massive poster of Brady and a massive poster of Foles.
She said, where's Jimmy Garoppolo?
Yeah, she has a massive poster of him in our room. She goes, who is this guy? Who is this? I go, that's Nick Foles. And she goes, is he good? And I go, yes. And she says, well, tell me about him. He's been on a lot of different teams. He played well last week. She said, is he great? And I go, I don't know. She said, but why? If he played really well last week, how come nobody believes him? And I said, that's a great question, honey. She takes me out of my comfort zone. But the fact is, I think there's still a prejudice about Nick Foles because he's bounced around, and we remember him as a Ram, or we don't remember him. He is an awesome quarterback.
He was slinging it last night.
The ceiling word.
The question about how much it has to do with the coaching staff and them adjusting and the RPOs and all of that. So would he be successful in another system?
Doug Peterson, Frank Reich, our career backup quarterbacks. That's what they were, the Packers and Bills, so they could say, dude, like we're here, we're with you.
Check out this resume. Now he has the 27 touchdowns, 2 interceptions season.
7 touchdowns in a game.
7 touchdowns in a game. And in this season, when he took over for Wentz, he beat Atlanta.
Yeah.
Matt Ryan was our former MVP last season. He beat the best defense in the Minnesota Vikings. He had a great game 2 weeks ago, and then he played unbelievable, and now is a Super Bowl MVP. So if you're talking about highs and lows, there's a lot of guys that got paid this year. My guy, Matt Stafford.
Derek
Carr.
Kirk Cousins is going to get $30 million.
I take Nick Foles' resume, that small resume, that small sample size, over a lot of guys making big money.
The higher ceiling. Hashtag GMFB. You guys can tweet the show. Lots more on this. I want to ask you guys.
So good.
When did you actually think, and we'll talk about this after the break, when did you think the Patriots would lose this game? Like, what was your moment?
Is the game over yet? I still
It was
scared.
till
They're gonna
Sun's
come back.
rising. We'll get to that question after this. This is Good Morning Football live in Minneapolis, still at Super Bowl 52, giving you all of the highlights. We'll have press conference coverage here on a Monday. That is gorgeous.
Red
Unbelievable.
sky in the morning, sailors take warning. That is beautiful.
Men, women,